Hey guys, holy crap, what have we got going on here? 2 videos in less than a month. Crazy for me, right? So I decided to show my other half of the Nakayoshi collections. We've got a lot to go through. This video probably will be just a little bit long, so just bear with me while we try and get through everything, alright? First off, we have Percy. The two on the left are the newer edition ones, which is the ones you would probably find new in box nowadays, if you can, from Japan. The one on the right is the older model, which was, I think, the first edition face. I prefer the older models just because this is what I first grew up with. This is what I originally had, and I just like their faces better. The new edition ones are very more towards CGI, and I'm very partial to the CGI series. I prefer my model era. So let's take a look at the models. This is the only one that has the side rods. I have multiples because this Percy's having some issues with his body work and stuff. So what I wanted to do, I just wanted to like swap pieces so that I have the older face, a newer body where all the stickers are fine, nothing's ripping off and whatnot. He's the only one with the side rods. The other two do not have their side rods. Other than that, there really isn't much difference. The newer Percys do have a little more of a vibrant green than the older Percy does. Oh, this one does have his side rods. I lied. And also the discoloration of the stickers bothers the crap out of me. Oh, he only has one side rod. Okay, the back. I think they all pretty much look at the back the same. Hook and loop style couplings, which is cool. And that's Percy. And here we've got Bill and Ben. Well, there's actually 3 Bills and 1 Ben. Ben's over here on the left side. His stickers seem to be just a lighter color than the others. I don't know if it's because of age or if that's how they make Bill and Ben in this line of toys. The faces are pretty much the same. Some factory errors, like where you can kind of appreciate it with him kind of looking off to the side a little bit. Eyebrows are but I'm not too worried about it. Bill's got his, Ben has his side rods. I don't think the others do. Nope, Bill. I got a Bill with some side rods. Side rod action, right? Their tops are pretty interesting. Good whistle detail with the coal. Some are missing their cab window stickers. Some of the boiler stickers are off-center like this one, which bothers the crap out of me. They all pretty much look like this on the side with their cab, although one's maybe Ben's looking a little better with the cab stickers. Lining, red running board. Same hook and loop style couplings. They're missing their little opening in the back of the cab though, but that's okay. And these have very major signs of wear because little kids love to rip these things apart because the hook and loop style couplings are actually very flimsy. It's like very bendable plastic. But as you get to the newer models, which I'll show you in a little bit for some of the other characters, they actually strengthen them by doing like a harder and a thicker plastic. So we'll get to those in a second. Next up, our other set of twins, Donald and Douglas. Complete black livery, respective nameplates or name stickers. They put them there because that's where like they have like a little spot where you put the stickers there. Which is kind of cool, sort of, because normally you either see them on the side of their smoke boxes or on the side of their boilers, like directly in the middle. I kind of like how they're sitting right there for these. Again, these are just toys, they're just models. Let's see. And I'm very happy with these models because they're clean, nothing's missing or broken or ripped, identical. And their respective 9 and 10 tenders. I think they included like looks like a water cap, which is kind of cool. All couplings intact, and they all have their side rods as well. Oh, we're getting some jammed action. That's the kind of downside of these toys. They're in line with their opposite side of the wheels. So if one's not sitting right, they're not gonna spin correctly. And also they're kind of old, so like the wheels get stuck sometimes. But it's cool to have these. I don't think he's gonna cooperate today. So moving on. Here we have Toby with Henrietta. In my opinion, Toby's the worst looking model, just because he seems so plain, which doesn't, I mean, he obviously looks like Toby, but he's just very plain out of the other characters. And I don't know if it's because of the color scheme, like if he's too much of a light brown, or if there's like no side plate detail, even though there really shouldn't be for things like this. Don't go away. His face is kind of eh. But again, even like his front just seems kind of plain. And they probably were okay with being lazy with this one, because like, it's a box, let's just make it a box. But he's in good condition. No sticker rippage. Very minimal roof details. Like, you can see the line that he has, his little chimney, even though it just looks like a little nub, and what's supposed to be a bell but looks more like a pacifier. Am I right? And of course I put Henrietta with him. Henrietta looks like Henrietta, but again, also very plain and boring. I don't think she ever had a sticker. I think this is just all that they did with the model. No door stickers or whatnot, but she does have the little balconies on both ends. Yeah. And that's Toby. Toby and Henrietta. I got Percy here with a Sodor male coach. I'll just get him out of the way. I just wanted to do that for show. This male coach sits kind of low. Like, it's got very tiny wheels, but I don't really mind that. Classic Sodor male lettering on the sides, on both sides. This is actually a newer model. I don't think I've ever seen a older model of a Sodor male coach. So like I was saying before, with the newer models, the hook and loops are made of a harder plastic and are far more resistant to bending and breaking. It's very much more sturdier. Even the body itself is made out of hard plastic. Most of the other ones are actually made out of a softer plastic. So I don't think there was ever an older model of a Sodor male coach, so this probably just came out much later. And it looks great. Like, it definitely looks like the Sodor male coach. I just wish the wheels were just slightly bigger, so it had like a little bit of a height instead of seeming so squat. Very minimal door details. I mean, you can just kind of make them out that there are doors there. But it's got the hinges, little windows. So yeah. And here we've got friends from the Great Western Railways. Oliver and Duck, and there's Toad in the back. One thing about some of the rolling stock, like Toad and even Annie and Clarabelle, we'll get to them in a second, they're made to hook up facing forward. That's just how they're built. They haven't been built in any other way, even though they should be facing in reverse. Well, at least Toad should be. And that's just how he hooks up with any other engine, just because his loop coupling is at his face, which should be his rear, but you guys know. So we've got Oliver. I really like the Oliver model, just because it's pretty very close to the TV series model. It's not like a one of the Hornby models where the wheels are too far spaced apart, and even the Bachmann model is the same way, and the wheels are too small. These ones at least have some conjunction to where the wheels are much larger than they should be and a little closer than they should be. Classic face, pretty cute. Hardly any damage on this one All of those stickers are intact. No rippage, no peeling, thank goodness. Side rods, and all couplings still there. This is what his back looks like, which is really awesome. You've got the coal bunker with the rear cab windows with the bars. It's great. And Duck, also having issues with his wheels. A little more on the planar side, but it's definitely obvious that it's Duck. Close up on his face. Can't see where I'm touching. There we go. Black running board, and I'm just like, eh. GWR with his number 8. The sticker handrails. He's got his whistle, which is separate, which is awesome. Come on, focus. There we go. And same thing with the cab in the back. There's some little bit of where the hell is it going? There we go. Mold release spots right there, which I could probably file down, but I kind of don't want to damage the rest of the model, so I'd probably just leave them. And Toad, our friendly brake van Toad. Definitely looks like a classic Toad. No stickers, it's just all molding. Good Toad face. You got the little, it's not hollowed out, but you can see a little bit of what would be the brake man's brake wheel. And that's a sticker back. Moving on. And here we have our disgraceful, disgusting, and despicable crew. The whole team. These are the older Gordon, James, and Henry models. These are the older faces, the first edition faces. The newer faces I really, really didn't like, so I didn't even bother getting them. Because I hate CGI faces so much. And yeah, moving on. So we'll start with Gordon. He's missing a little bit of his eyebrow. Not much color differentiation between his eyes and his face color, which is but you know, they're old toys. It could also be possible sun damage, which is why it just seems like it's one color, but it's fine. No sticker rippage, whistles, all of his pinstriping is there. The tenders are all connected. That's just how every engine in this line is. Both side rods, a really, really tiny piston. So yeah. For some reason, I feel like the funnels for Henry and Gordon are just kind of tall. I don't know why that is. I wish they were a little more squat, but probably for durability, right? Yeah. James. I've always liked James' face. I don't know why. For this model, for the Nakayoshi range, I really just always liked his face. It just seemed suiting, I guess. Does not have his cab whistle detail, but he does have that little tiny one right where his smoke box is. Brass dome. Where do you ever see a brass dome, James? Never. All of his side rods are there. All of his stickers are there. Yellow lining instead of gold lining. Should be gold, but you know, toys. Again, they're toys. We know this. Yeah. I always thought the James model was very proportionate. For some reason, every James model looks pretty good when it comes to, like, the Asian toy range. Because when you start getting, like, the Take and Plays, even the Thomas Wooden Railway, which is going downhill, sadly, the James always look like crap. But the Bandai Tex James, Nakayoshi James, great. All great. We got Henry in his new shape. I don't think there ever was a Henry with an old shape. I could be wrong, because like when I was doing my review for the Skarloey Railway engines, there is a Peter Sam and God, what was his other name? I completely forgot. Stewart. There was a Stewart model and a Peter Sam model. So I don't know if there's an old Shape Henry. If anyone has one, we would love to see that, or at least I would love to see that. All of the side rods, looks like the sticker's coming up just a little bit up here for age. I could probably stick a little glue under there just to help secure that. Tender size looks good, unlike Bachmann, you know. It's off center and that's bothering the crap out of me. I wish I could just peel it off and then fix it, but I can't because I risk ruining it. Again with the funnel, a little too tall. Classic Henry face. Classic livery. No, 0 to no cab detail, but they've got that new shape smoke box with the splashers, because I know in season 1 his new shape did not have splashers, wheel splashers. And just the back of the tender. Okay, who's next? So we've got Thumper and Bulstrode. Not really much to be said about Thumper because we don't really see him a lot in the series. But he's got his name, he's got his arms. They gave him little tiny windows right under his traction tires. The classic face. These are a little flimsy for some reason. I don't know if you're able to pull them out. I don't want to try it. But that's Thumper. Bulstrode, with the same face that every other toy of Bulstrode has. This one had wheels, but it looks like whoever had it before me took the wheels out, or they just fell out. And so even though it's only one set of wheels, or yeah, it would not be able to stand up on its own. It just kind of sits on the side. That way he can just stay on the beach where he's kept. Children can play in him, you know, whole 9 yards. But it's a good Bulstrode model. Like, it definitely looks like a classic Bulstrode. Missing some anchors, though, because he needs anchors. But he looks good. Life preserver details. Little bit of, like, his building details. Yep. I've got Topham circus wagons. This one's kind of interesting. The elephant is actually built into the car itself. So when you pull it along, let's see who I can grab. I think I'll grab James, because he pulled it last time, didn't he? When you pull the car along, the elephant actually moves. There's some kind of mechanism in one of the wheels to give it that kind of animation. Which is really cool, you know, for being old toys. There's a stain on the elephant. I don't know what it is. I'm afraid to know what it is, but I gotta wipe that off or clean it off somehow without damaging the sticker. And, yeah. So that's the elephant car. This is a little box car. I wish... Where are you going? I wish the Hornby circus models said Topham Circus instead of just the picture of the clown and then the neon colors, and then just like, ugh. Where are you going? Yeah, just a regular boxcar with the Topham Circus line. I think these are newer models because, again, they've got the harder plastic. Very, little more difficult to break and whatnot. Yeah, but it's a good model. There is a Bandai Tex circus model as well. And you can actually remove the elephant, I believe. I think there's also like a jaguar or something, some kind of big black cat. And but they're removable, and I think when you push the car along, that doesn't move like the Nakayoshi one. So I haven't seen anybody else with a Nakayoshi circus model. So it's a bit of a treat right there. And he's still going. So we got a couple troublesome trucks here. 4 of them that are just the classic douchebags that you see everywhere throughout the show. Just cars. They have more molded detail on their sides with the planks and braces than their fronts and ends do, because for some reason the front is a sticker with the detailing of the car, and then the back is also a sticker with the detailing. The sides all molded. Wheels, hook and loop coupling still intact. I don't know if there's ever been models or little things that you can put loads into these cars, because the Skarloey Railway ones that are a little bit smaller than these to match their scale do have like wooden plank loads. But then there's Scruffy and this truck right here where they have the loads built into them. And this is I don't know if there was an older model of Scruffy, but this is a newer model of Scruffy because of the harder plastic and much thicker. He's got ballast built into him. Classic lettering on the side, but it's not molded. It's all a sticker. Even though his front end is molded, but all around the sides it's just sticker details. Orange wheels. And then this car with a molded load inside. I don't know if this is removable. It doesn't seem like it. So this is probably just how it is. But it's no different from the other troublesome trucks I just showed you. It's just with a load. And a box car. I don't see many of these with the laughing troublesome truck face. Very much like troublesome truck number 4. I think it's 3 from the Bachmann range. And it's just a box car. Details with a little bit of doors. Sticker details front and back like the others. Pretty cool. And I already reviewed these because, you know, with the Nakayoshi Skarloey Railway engines that I have. But they were just in here for some reason. Just 2 more Skarloey Railway coaches. I know some people like to use these for the N scale work. In my opinion, they're just a little too small if I were to have people, modeled people, because the doors are super tiny. Like, obviously obesity wasn't an issue back in the 50s and 60s, but seriously, who can get through those doors? Nobody. You'd have to be like a stick. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. I have so many Thomases. 7 total. And I sort of remember why I chose these specific 7 out of a pile that I got, for obvious reasons that you could probably just tell. But let's go through them. These 3 right here are the older models. Again, I prefer the older faces. But what's interesting, actually these 4 are older models. But these 2 are the ones I grew up with. What's interesting about these 2, I don't know if this has ever been shown in anybody's collection, but it's with a Thomas with a shocked face. They're the older models because they don't have the like the CGI type faces. You can obviously see that they're in conjunction with the older models. So these 4, I think this one has side rods, yes. Classic Thomas. Little bit of sticker off centerage, which is okay, I guess. A little bit of chip corners, not so bad. Rear lamp, no rear cab detail. This one has obviously had some serious sun damage. You can see the difference in color of his actual plastic and then the color of the sticker versus this one where it's obviously being a little more taken care of. And yeah, I think I also kept multiple Thomases because I was wanting to splice them and mix and match better parts for worse parts. This is the shocked face Thomases. They both do not have side rods, but one's obviously had a little more sun damage than the other. But the same deal when it comes to the bodywork. Oh no. Yeah, the same detail when it comes to the bodywork. It looks like somebody put these upside down. Idiots. And these are the newer Thomases. These are the ones you would probably find in a new packaged Nakayoshi model. The one on the far left is, I don't know what's up with this face. I've never seen this face anywhere. But he's definitely a newer model, but he's not quite. Their faces are definitely different, which is kind of odd. And this one's obviously seen a lot of damage. He's missing his cab roof. He feels kind of grainy on his body. A little bit. Discolored wheels. Front coupler missing. And you guys are probably eyeing this one. I actually came across, just by chance, a Thomas with a snowplow. I don't know when the snowplow was made. I don't know if it was in conjunction with the newer models or if it was with the older models. But the snowplow just connects to the front coupler with a little notch that just kind of slips on like that. Kind of have to just press it in for it to stay. But it does function somewhat, if you know what I mean. Not for like actual purposes, but with the models, yeah. Yeah, these are the newer models. There's no difference in the stickers and details of the newer models versus the older Thomases. It's all the same. Upside down again. I wonder if these came from the same people. But yeah, it's just a newer Thomas model. But I'm going to bring out my last piece of rolling stock while I have Thomas out. And it's with Annie and Clarabelle. Now, the Annie and Clarabelle models, they look great, especially with Thomas. Like they just kind of complete each other. But just as I was saying with Toad, they're built to where they have to face forward. So you've got Annie here with her loop coupler at her face, and they're built to be facing the same way as Thomas, which is kind of, you know, not quite accurate, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to take him off so we can take a closer look at them. And that's something else that I noticed was strange. Annie has a smiling face, and I believe she's usually depicted with a shocked face, which would be this one. Although I don't know if it's just because of the models that I have, that whoever had these before me just possibly might have switched the stickers. I've never seen Annie and Clarabelle new in box, so I have no information as to whether or not the stickers are already on the models or if they're optional to put on the models. Because I know there are some Nakayoshi kits out there where the stickers are all off of the engine and it's your job to put them on yourself. So that's a possibility. But for anyone who's ever said, oh, I've never seen Annie with a smiling face or a shocked face, there you go. And here we've got a few models of Edward. Lots of damages to some of these, and a lot of noticeable differences, as you can obviously tell. Only one of the models have their side rods, and this was definitely a project where I was definitely going to be splicing. So this Edward right here is a newer model face. That's a newer model face. And the one over here, and these two are all older model faces, which of course I prefer. Now these two are stickers, and their sticker design is definitely different from these two. These are the older models. But this one, this Edward, has his detail printed on the plastic itself. That's not a sticker. Like I can't take it off. It's printed onto the plastic itself. So versus this one, obviously not the same design as these two over here, where nope, it's just the wrong sticker. I just noticed that. That's probably for Gordon, I believe. Actually, I'm not too sure. Because I don't know. Because the white lines are supposed to be handrails, and the red lines are obviously supposed to be the pinstriping. But I don't know. Whoever had this definitely fucked up this time, big time. Like, fucked up big time. Oh well. But you guys get the gist of Edward. The newer model is the one with the only side rods, unfortunately. Missing his cab roof. Huge ass whistle detail. And sun damage from this one. Major sun damage. And that's Edward. I don't know if it was really worth mentioning, showing off Cranky, just because I don't like the models, but I just kept it in my collection. I've got two. I think they both were supposed to have some kind of string at the top with a little hook that dangles, but obviously, like, those are gone. Cranky's face. Looks like Cranky's face. It's kind of small when it's compared to some of the engines. But so is the Bachmann model, right? So that's Cranky. And this is the end of our collection. We got through everything, going on 30 minutes. It's been a long video, but thank you for watching so far. We've got Boko. This is definitely a newer model, I believe. I don't know if they came out with more. Classic Boko face with the same kind of body and make and model. Same wheel configuration, which is great. Usually looked over in toys like these. Rear cab detail. Looks like mostly sticker detail. I don't know if those are his same numbers. Possibly. And I think I've seen this on the side of the original model. Maybe. Daisy, which is in the model series. They've used Boko's face and just added makeup to it to make Daisy's face. Classic Daisy. Same kind of body. Diesel rail car. I think her wheel configuration is also the same. Yep. Rear cab detail with a little lamp. Gray roof. This side looks the same. And her classic face. With a beauty mark. Isn't that interesting? Mavis and Diesel. Go away, Salty. Mavis and Diesel. Mavis, obviously. With the Farquhar Quarry Company Limited. Not a red buffer beam, but a black buffer beam. She's got her own cow catchers in the front. Definitely looks like Mavis.